Yeah, let's see how they do. I mean, this is technically the first Erangel map of the tournament.
So here we go. I mean, it's a little bit to the west, but it's just mostly north, south, easy peasy. Technically south north. I know, guys, come on. It's just cutting through the middle of the map. Just leave it alone.
Just let it happen. Just let it happen.
And no surprise, Gascan's going to go ahead and drop on a military base. They love it there. Going to get a couple of attention. Looks like only one other team going to drop along their location. With this plane path, I wouldn't be surprised. Again, with the map reset, it's that feeling out stage again for this first game.
I agree. I don't think we're going to see anything crazy. Specifically, as you mentioned before, this plane path is very favorable to pretty much everyone, right? There's really not a position that you could say that, wait a second.
But Kameshki, Godspeed. Kameshki, I want to drop Kameshki. No, this is so hard to get there.
Hold on, this fight has actually been going on for a while in scrims, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Poro has been telling me about this. Yeah, so this is, yeah, we actually did expect this. I'm sorry, we did expect this, Matt. We failed.
I want to see the commitment coming out from these players, very quickly managing to pick up guns, getting positions. Spicy Fish also in a little bit of a situation. Looks like technically Dodge in the worst end of it, as they're about to have a front end of a car coming after him, but got the fancy feet trying to get away from him. Spicy Fish, while trying to get it, finally manages to run him over. Starting off the blood, gonna go ahead and crush that one out, and you can see now repositioning 3 members from 22.
Straight back to the fight, Matt. You know what I'm saying? Let's give a shout out to the observers. Let's give a shout out to the observers.
Starting to get a little bit more antsy about this one. Now has control over the top, the roof itself. Looks like the first floor as well. Sparking's got himself the pump action, taking corners very carefully, and this is where Vision's going to start popping between them. But right as soon as that happens, Flashbang's going to deny all that vision. So now going to be stepping into it, and look at the aggression. They're aware that they got control over it. Now Crash, coming from the roof, has to play this one carefully. They don't know where the angles are and how they have to push into this. Instead, pumps the brakes immediately and realizing this is not going in their favor. Here it goes.
We go. Push comes, 22.
Look at the tight angles that we saw Crash holding, though. If they step into this, they should be able to they might be able to get a knock. I mean, it's really just a pixel peek that you can see is set up off to the side of this. Seeing if they line up for it, tries to get some spray. One goes down. Flux manages to get it. Backside attack comes through. Now it is just a 2v1 situation, bouncing around the different points for it. You can see how dangerous it is to play around it, but Crash does go down. The last two putting up a valiant fight against 22. 2 casualties coming over for it, and my God, how many more 2s can I string into the sentence?
I mean, there's been teams in the past where they literally just had one IGL and no one else really put in input, and that's not only unfair to the IGL, but it's unfair to the team because they're not going to succeed that way. It's very unfair to put an immense amount of pressure and not help out with, you know, basically everything, whether it's watching flank or making calls here or there. So.
Well, enough of our TED talk about IGLs. You can see that Spicy Fish decided to roll right up into Oath's position. The circle did go to the south. Yasnaya still inside of it, so Dodge going to be rewarded with playing in that position. Teams are playing to the north, and a little bit of a, let's say, more precarious situation. Oath going to go ahead and going to opt out and playing into the zone. You can see Spicy Fish, Sonics, as well as Gascans all lined up in those points. Shoot to Kill also having to contest with a couple of teams that are pretty close to them. 303 Esports, most notably the closest one to them, but they also have Enrage that's up along the hillside that's kind of slowing them down in their movement. Here you go. 3 different teams bisecting right up on top of each other. Shrimsy's going to be playing the point position for the Sonics, but you can see multiple targets going to be rolling through into the Shrimsy's got more targets than he knows what to do with, and they're just rolling up right on top of him. He goes down quite quickly. Zampa's going to go ahead and regroup with the rest of the team, but you can see Gascans to the south now also having to contest with what's happening, and Spicy Fish just rolling and harassing teams as they're making their rotation.
Actually, no, Zenith is still up there too, but they're in. That's the issue. Zenith is in. Oath is not.
Spicy Fish looks like they're going to cut back down. Dodge going to be the last team that's going to harass them as they go, but they've been coming in quite strong. Oh, that's not the point to hit into a tree. Oath's going to be rolling through, trying to go for their own shots, trying to get a little bit of style, but Kickstart goes down. Reload now the last one up, vying up against Tiggleton's position right down below him, but has to be careful. He's got a side flank that's going to be coming through. Doesn't manage to line up the shots, and H-Win manages to take him down. So with this, slowing down just a little bit, but let's not forget about our boys Zenith, who has a little bit of vision on what's happening right now. Lots of the Sonics members are down, and H-Win realizes the fact that this could be too hazardous, has to go ahead and cut forward, just rolling down the hillside. Luckily, there's not any targets too close, so should get a little bit of time to reset just by himself.
The only issue, Matt, I think, is gas cans.
The gas cans are going to be a little bit of a spot where they can take a couple of shots, but with this, they've lined up. I was going to say H1 should have easy peasy shots, but they also have vision on him. He gets the down in the flush onto Shinboy, though, so at least gets to slap him as he's going down. Problem with it is they've got a very violent team to the south. It's going to be gas cans that might have an idea that there's an opportunity to be had to the north. Now rolling up to see if maybe they can get a couple of kills as well.
The way Neferhor and 300 have been playing, I would definitely be a little cautious about getting a fight with that team, specifically if I'm down a few members, and here they come. I love the aggression from these guys.
Box does go down, but Trisk goes down as well. So with this, Old Times now needs to move out of the hillside. The new circle has popped, and it's just a little bit to the east of the position that we're looking at the time. Old Times has an idea on where 303 is lined up, and now has vision on them. So instead, going to counterflank, and looks like they're going to go ahead and try to wrap entirely around the bottom part of this hillside, see if maybe they can line through. It's going to be one down already for Old Times. They're having to retreat away from this position. It's going to be Nerfer yet again. Strong performer coming up for 300. Box does go down, but the control line coming up from 300 has to be a little bit careful. They're taking a lot of damage. Leda creeping back down. One of the last few sitting on a ton of life. Grenade's going to connect with an execs, but not going to be enough to get the down onto him. So instead, Old Times gets a little bit of time to reposition. But Nerfer yet again finding the angle to get the flush. Spots out execs as well. This guy is just absolutely lighting up Old Times.
Yeah, Neferhor is actually cracked. He is really playing well today. I mean, every fight he's been in. And okay, Zenith, I guess, just takes care of gas cans. They're just gone. They're just eliminated. And the span of, what, 5 seconds we were talking about that? So that was really wild. And Head Kick, also a new member here, I believe from the OCEs, brought into this team. I'm really kind of waiting to see what this guy's got. Nice shot coming out from him. But yeah, we haven't really seen too much from him yet.
Well, he's going to have the opportunity as Enrage is going to be in front of them as they make their approach. Back behind us, you can see the setup where we see a shoot to kill kind of lining up. They've got a pretty good control right now. A lot of vision to work with as well, but you can see how close now 300 has managed to make it into Enrage's position. So Enrage does have a little bit of a situation that they have to contest with. Is up along the hillside, they do have a team that has vision back behind them as well. Now holding the top of Stalber. Opportunity is going to come through. Gubin does get the down and the flush onto Leda as his body goes rolling down the hillside. So with this, 300 has to kind of pump the brakes a little bit. Already sitting at 8 kills, but there is still a couple opportunities in front of him, at least to get one more. But God, it is dangerous to peek around that tree.
He is unfortunately not going to get a frag there. They do know he's there now, but I'm not sure if they know that there's at least 2.
Zenith is lined up in a 2-1 split right now. Plunage has been contesting up against Ernie's position, so not going to be able in the best position to really reinforce. If he does manage to pull off a flank here, it could be huge, but it looks like he's going to take a couple of shots, go ahead and force them back down the hillside, but you can see the firepower that comes out from shoot to kill Neuron instantaneously. Throwables are going to start coming out. Plunage is down inside of a dip. There's not a lot of different places for them to go. That could be extremely problematic for him.
Yep.
Grenade is going to connect. He does go down. Pretty Cardio manages to line up. Penta trying to line up just a little bit as well as Luke 12. As you can see, the 2-man squad pushing down. Zenith trying to line it through as they go. But it's going to be up at the top of the hillside. It's going to be Panday that manages to find out, get the flush, as well as Captain, who manages to get the knock.
And that was kind of the risk with Punage's flank. I actually really loved that reposition. The problem is once he showed his hand, he had to get a knock, and he didn't. And because of that, he paid the price. But Purdy also paid the price for extending. Now Luke steps over. He's going to fight Alo. 2v2.
Creeping around off of this. He's got 3 members down below him, but doesn't have the vision to work with. Pinta does manage to line up into it. Now trying to feed that back over. Get Vegas some type of opportunity to work with. Looks through, decides to go for the flush, reveals himself. A little bit of a peek, but it's going to be Luke 12 that manages to polish it off. So with this, shoot to kill, and now has to contest up against Dodge's position that used this opportunity and this firefight to leave that low ground position and make their way into the safe zone.
But Luke 12 is trying to go towards that crate, not because he wants it, just because he wants some cover. Crates can be good cover, especially in the end game. Obviously, he has some trees, he's going to get ahead, and there goes Head Kick. So Hikerman is going to find him, which now leaves only 3 teams left alive.
Oh, but with that, Dodge is now opting to play into the west, running up the hillside, realizing the fact that this is their opportunity and an easier path to work with the numbers. Luke 12 also gets it down onto Captain. That means the fact that a couple more opportunities are going to arrive in the position that Dodge is now trying to play from, and you can see everybody from Durrani is now just trying to regroup a little bit, trying to get the res back up, making sure that they can take their time off of it.
This is the time to make a play.
2-2 split has arisen in the high ground positions.
Yes, Luke, this is absolutely the time to make the play. You've also seen Dodge there on the west side start to move up, and that knock was massive for just this game, this end game in general, because I gave Dodge room as well as SDK. So here we go. Now Dodge is set up. The double prone, I'm not sure he's feeling it, and Penta's out in the open.
Just trying to get the shots, but Captain is going to manage to get the down onto him. So now that just means Luke 12 having to hold this position by himself, trying to make sure that he at least holds the harassment for these 2 off of position. Now, he's got the cover to work with, leaning right into the side, but he is so nervous because he knows that Dodge can crest the hillside. With the positioning, Durrani has the opportunities right now to work with. They do get the res back up. Capitan has been doing a phenomenal job of just holding this high ground and harassing every single movement that's coming down below him. It's going to be on to Dodge to find the opportunity, and they connect with the headshot at a pivotal moment.
It's unfortunate that that we lost Penta the way we did. Luke could not have traded. I'm a really big stickler on playing for trades, but Luke was just stuck. He couldn't do anything there. Penta had to take the duel. So now with that, they are going to recover the knock.
But that's so much information that's being lost. Having to commit into these constant reses inside of the smoke means the fact that they don't know exactly what's going on. Panday is trying to line up, gets a little bit of damage, but you can see now trying to leave this high ground position. Capitan actually goes down from fall damage. Is making it a little bit more problematic. Now just trying to push into the face of Dodge. Playing around the smokes, trying to go for a peek. Spots out one, gets the down onto him. Hikerman does go down off of that position. Now you can see throwables, more smokes coming into play. Durney having to retreat from this position, but Luke 12, with as close as they're getting, has a side flank angle onto this and can turn the game on its head.
Oh, Luke is actually in a massive position here. This could be the game. He could potentially find himself the dub. They're also focused on Finna and Dodge. Luke is coming in behind. He's going to find a knock.
Gets it down onto one, sprays into the second one, a little bit of assistance, does manage to tick it off. So now we're in a 1v1 positioning right now, just between each one of these teams having one member up. Trying to peek around it. Durrani has to play this one carefully. Luke 12's revealed his position, but out in the open, gonna spot him out real quick. Luke 12 still just trying to hold up for his team. Spots it out, lined up, tree versus rock, right along the edge of the zone.
Luke has center of circle.
He's closer to the center of the circle, though, so all pressure now switching over to Ernie. They've been holding the high ground, but finally now having to fight their way from the low ground position. Smokes being thrown right into the face of Luke 12, who's going to try to use it for cover. Counterplay around this, waiting to see where the peak is going to be coming from. Has a read onto it, has an idea for it, keeping the eye off of position. Luke 12 keeps the composure and clutches up the victory.
Money and power, respect my mind, no die from last y'all. I pray my dick get big as the apple time, so I can fuck the world for 72 hours. Goddamn, I feel amazing. Damn, I'm in the matrix. My mind is living on cloud nine, and this nine is never on vacation.